What's up, guys? Another one. Another. You get again. You have three problems at the end, but now last Friday we talked about setting up the tables and how to do that. Well, now that's the table set up. How are we going to solve it? Okay. So as you see, I have this problem all set up. I mean, you can read it if you want, but I can see my table. What is going on here? So when I'm looking at the bottom row, I'll put my finger on that, okay? I see that there's X and Y, okay? Both X and Y. So if you have both X and Y, you're going to want to make your little cross so you have workspace, okay? You have X and Y. So the first equation is 5X plus 3Y equals $32.92. So 5X plus 3Y equals 32.92. And then the bottom equation says that 4x plus 2y is equal to $22.74. 22.74. Okay, so again, we have no base in this equation, so we need to bubble. And I don't really have anything that's the same with x and y, so no same. So I don't want to plus the equations together, okay? I need to do my dot, dot, dot. Because if you plus the equations together without anything being the same, you're just going to end up with a full equation, which you don't want. Okay, so I have 4 here, so I'll go 4, 4, 4, and then a 5 here, so 5, 5, 5. Okay, so I've got 5x times 4, and that's 20x. And by the way, you're like, how many do we have to watch? I would watch first 3 and then go work if I felt confident. Okay, I mean, I'll keep going if you want, but 3y times 4 is 12y. Okay, and then 32.92 times 4, and you're gonna have to deal with decimals because that's how money works. Sorry. Okay, so 131.68. Okay, then the bottom, 4x times 5 is 20x. 2y times 10 is, or 2y times 5 is 10y. And then I will be taking 22.74 times 5, and that's going to be 113.7, okay? Now you have the same thing right there. So I have my same right there and then the rest of the system, but they can't both be positive. You need to make those all negative. But when you plus them, remember to get the negative in on the bottom. So 20 plus negative 20 is 0, and that's why we can cross that out. Okay, and then I take 12 plus, remember to make the 10 negative, and that's 2, so 2y. Then I take 131.68 plus, I got to remember to put a negative with this one, so negative 113.7. That's 17.98, okay? A lot of you are forgetting to put the negative on that, and that leads to problems, okay? You're doing it right, you just forget that step, and it leads to kind of messed up answers. I mean, I'm happy with what we're doing in here, but... So 17.98 divided by 2 is $8.99, okay? Now, some of you had got confused about, well, and that, okay, I'll deal with that here in a second. Now, to get my other answer, because remember, I need 2 answers. I'm going to write this equation here. The very first equation I wrote down, 5x plus 3y equals, just put 32.92, okay? And I have my answer for y, so I want to parenthesize the y and put 8.99 in its place, and then cross out the y. We don't want that there. Okay, so 3 times 8.99, that's going to be 26.97. Then cross that out, and then plus 5x equals 39.92. And then I dot my 5. I'm going to subtract the 26.97 from both sides. And 5 dot x equals So 39.92 plus negative 26.97 is 12.95, okay? And then I'm going to divide by 5. 12.95 divided by 5 is 2.59. So x equals 2.59. Now, I had somebody ask me a question, and it was a good question. They're like, I get confused what to put, where to put which one. Okay, so look at your y. Your y was $8.99, and y is under albums, so the albums cost $8.99, okay? And then the other answer is how much a song costs, $2.59. Okay, so that's kind of how we're going to go about solving those once the table's set up. Okay, next one. You see the table set up. Now look at your bottom row. You got x and you have y. Whenever you have these x and y, you're going to need to make two equations. So my first equation actually comes from the top row, and the other equation comes from the bottom row, because I can make an equation with x plus y equaling 700. And then my other equation from the bottom row with 3x plus 5y equals 3,078. Basically, you look for a row where you have x, y, and then a number kind of as your total right there. See on this, again, I had x, y, and then something here, x, y, something here. Here I had x, y, but there was nothing here or here, okay? So I would want to put ones in front of these, and I have no base. And again, I have no same, okay? So again, you don't want to add the equations together. So dot, 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 and dot, dot, dot. So I've got 3 here, so 3, 3, 3, then 1, 1, 1, 1. So 1x times 3 is 3x. 1y times 3 is 3y. And then 700 times 3 is 2,100. Okay, 3x times 1 is still 3x. 5y times 1 is 5y. And then 3,078 times 1 is 3,078. Okay, now let's go here, here, and here. Well, now I have the same thing right there. But again, they're both positive, which won't work because you need this to be negative, and then the positive 5's negative, and then the 3,078's negative. Okay? Now you add. Okay. So 3 plus negative 3 is 0, just like I want. 3 plus negative 5 is negative 2y. Remember, you got to make your 5 negative. On a story problem, you really got to make that bottom number negative. 2,100 plus negative 3,078 is negative 978. Then I dot this and then divide by negative 2. Okay, and then I have my first answer. Negative 978 divided by negative 2 is 489. Okay, now we have to get to the other answer. Okay, so I write this down. 1x plus 1y equals 700. Okay, remember we have the answer for y, so I want to parenthesize y, but then cross it out, and we bring in 489. Okay, so 1 times 489 is 489 plus 1x equals 700. Then I dot the x, subtract 489, subtract 489, and that's 211. And then you can divide by 1, but you really don't have to. Okay, it's still 211. 211. Okay, so this was the answer for y. So here's my letter y. What column's that under? That's the adults. So 489 is the adult tickets, and then 211 is the student tickets. Okay, now the next one. The table's all filled out, okay, and we practiced that last week. Now, look at your bottom row. You don't have X and Y here. You only have X's. So what I want you to do is, I'm going to make a little adding pyramid. If there are two X's, you're going to make an adding pyramid. You're not going to set up the cross. Okay? You're not. You don't have to. That's stupid. You have two X's across bottom. You don't have Y anywhere. Okay? And that means I don't need to make the cross. So I take 378 plus 214, because those are my two X numbers. 592, so 592x, and then I cross those out because they're done, and then before equals I need to plus 756, and then equals 2384. So now I can dot my x, solve for it, because 756 doesn't have a letter, and so I can subtract that, and 592.x equals 2384 minus 756, and that's 1628. Then divide by 592, divide by 592. So 1628 divided by 592 is 2.75. Now, what a lot of people do is they get all freaked out. They're like, well, I don't know how to find the other answer. You know, I know one of them's 2.75. That's why you go up here and you replace both x's with 2.75. So I know that's 2.75. Great, I already have that answer. If we get my other answer, I take 2.75 plus 2, and that equals 4.75. So these are my two answers. Now, if you are confused about what goes where, okay, go find the column that just had the x, okay, without the x plus 2, that doesn't have the 2 being added to it, okay? It would be right here, okay, the singular x right here. That's children. So children would be 2.75, and it would be the adults that is 475. Okay, next one. Now I'm going to keep going here, just in case. And by the way, I should not have had a 1 in front of this x. I should just have that be x. Okay, now the next one, look at your bottom row. You have two x's. You don't have y. Okay, so when you have two x's, you can draw your adding pyramid and just add those. So 4 plus 3 is 7. That's kind of obvious. 7 x's. And then plus 0.75 equals 9.78. Well, now I can easily solve for x. I can just dot my 7. I'm going to minus 0.75 and subtract that from 9.78. So it's going to be 7.x equals 9.03. That's what that minus that is. Now I'm going to divide by 7, and I don't know what that is. 1.29. So I know that the x variable is 1.29. Now you're like, again, I got to find two answers. How am I going to get the other one? Up here, okay? You know that x is $1.29. Remember, the two things you didn't know, you put x and x plus 0.25. Well, I know the x is $1.29. And if I take that $1.29 and add 25 cents, $1.54. So these are my two answers, okay? Now you're like, well, which one's what? Go find the box where you have the singular x all by itself, right there, right there. And that's your apples. So this $1.29 is the apples price. And then this $1.54 is your oranges price. Okay? So again, the two answers, again, is the most important. Okay, next problem. Now, look at your bottom row. You have x's and y's. So with x's and y's, you need to make the cross, okay? Because you can't add the x's because they're not in the same row, okay? So 5x plus 7y is equal to 250, and 7x plus 10y is equal to 350. Okay, so now you have no base, so you're going to do your bubbles. Pretty much on story problems, you're not going to have a base, okay? All right, and you have no same. So you don't add don't switch the signs and add, okay, if you don't have the same. So dot, 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 and dot, dot, dot. So I've got 7, 7, 7, 7, and I got 5. So 5, 5, 5. Okay, so 5 times 7 is 35x. 7 times 7 is 49 with y. And now I take 250 times 7, and that's 1,750. Okay, 7x times 5 is 35x. 10y times 5 is 50y. And 350 times 7, or 350 times 5, I'm sorry, is 17. Wait a second. 250 times 7. Shoot, I screwed this up. This wasn't supposed to be 350. It's supposed to be 354. Okay, yeah. So that's 354. See, 354. I accidentally put 350. It was 354. Okay, so I take 5 times 354, and that's better, 1770. Okay, so with that being said, we will again be adding the equations together, and I have the same right here, but those have to go negative, and those can cancel. And then 49 plus negative 50 is negative 1, so negative 1y. And that's going to be negative 20. Now you can dot this, divide by negative 1. Negative 20 divided by negative 1 is 20, so I have my answer for y. Now to get the other answer, write this here, 5x plus 7y equals 250. And y equals 20, so we will replace y with 20, okay? 7 times 20 is 140 with no y on that, and then add your 5x and equal it to 250. Dot your 5, circle it, and subtract your 140. So 5 dot x equals 110, and then divide by 5. And 110 divided by 5 is 22. Okay, now if you're wondering, now this was the first answer, it's y. Here's y. What column is it under? Uniforms. So the cost of a uniform is $22, and then, or it's $20, sorry. Y equals 20, so y here, uniform. And the helmet was 22. Okay, again, y is under uniform, so $20. Okay, and the last one I would put in this video. Again, look at your bottom. The letters are different, so you can't draw your adding pyramid, so you need to make this, okay? With an X and a Y, you don't draw that little pyramid and add. That's not going to work. So you have two equations. You're like, I have this one, and I have this one on top, okay? So x plus y equals 12, and 3x plus 5y equals 42. Okay, no base that I see here, and no same. Okay, so you got to do your dots. Dot, 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 dot. So I have 3 here, so 3, 3, 3, and I have 1 here, 1, 1, 1. So 1x times 3, 3x. 1y times 3, 3y. 12 times 3 is 36, and the bottom just when you times something by 1, it just stays the same. So 3x plus 5y equals 42. Okay, now I have something that's the same. Okay, the same will be right here. So negative, 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 because now when I add them, the 3 plus negative 3 is 0. Okay, and then 3 plus, remember to make the 5 negative, negative 2y. And then 36 plus negative 42 is negative 6. Then it's time to divide. So y equals 3. Okay. Now you got to find your other answer, which is found by this x right here. Okay. Okay, so I have the 1x, 1y, and 12. That's how I write that. And I know that I have an answer for y, so that is now 3. So that's 3 plus the 1x equals 12. Then I dot the 1x, circle it, minus 3, 1 dot x equals 9. Okay. Then divide by 1, and it's still 9. Okay, so I have my two answers. Now the 3 is for the y. Now my y is under b-ball, basketball. So the basketball has an answer of 3, and this has an answer of 9. Okay, hope that helps. And we're at the end of teaching new stuff pretty much. Okay, we got to take a test on this. The test's only going to be 5 problems, but it can be challenging. Okay, you've done it all, but not all together. We'll start reviewing for that in the coming days.